Today we're going to be talking about film gear that I regret buying. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Luis Garcia. You're watching Wise Mind Films, and here on First Time Filmmakers, I actually want to talk to you about some products that I bought that I kind of regret getting. Luckily, it wasn't that expensive, but the point is that I spent money on something that I can't actually even use. One day I was sitting at home on the couch, browsing through gear, thinking, looking at things that I know that I can't afford at the moment, looking at things that were out of my price range, and I was trying to look for some cheap alternatives. And that's actually where my downfall went, because looking for cheap alternatives led me down a rabbit hole of looking through so many different websites that offer, I guess you would call them, knockoff items. I ended up finding a site that everybody warned me against, that every review that I read actually warned me against, but I ended up going on, or I ended up downloading the Wish app. Now immediately I knew not everything on this site was actually worth buying. There's a lot of things that just looked ridiculous, and some things that were just ridiculously priced that you knew that the second that you get it is probably going to break. At one point I actually found something that I really needed at the time, knowing that the money that I was spending on it, I kind of knew that if it came out bad, it came out bad. It was a situation where it is what it is. Now the day arrived, it came, and I was immediately disappointed. The bag was way tinier than I expected. The material was horrible. The zipper wasn't even working properly. And it was just embarrassing to wear. As a grown-ass man, I refused to wear a bag this size. So immediately, I kind of felt ashamed of myself. I kind of felt embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe I just spent $10 on this. Even though when I first did it, I told myself that if it ended up happening like this, that I wasn't going to care. But I actually did care. So needless to say, I did use this, but I just never wore it. I just actually would carry it with the top handle like this everywhere I went. It actually did end up serving a purpose. Although I was tight that it came this small, I was able to fit whatever camera I was using, plus 2 extra lenses, my memory cards, my batteries. I was able to fit quite a lot in here. Depending on the shoot, sometimes I didn't even pull this bag out. I ended up just, putting the camera on the tripod and using that, carrying that around, putting some extra batteries in my pocket, having my memory card pouch in my back pocket, and I would just leave this in the car and go about my way. Now, it was an inconvenience because of the fact that I didn't want to wear it, because I didn't really actually want to take this out on certain shoots. So this is why I am on the hunt for a new bag, although there's a lot of different options. I'm not sure which one I want to go with yet, but for now I'm going to keep using this. But I will never recommend anybody to buy anything film related on an app like Wish or Top Hatter or any of those kind of websites. You got to be careful you don't end up with something like this. Now, another product that I actually regret buying, or at least not regret buying, but regret not using more often, is this thing right here. It's actually a stabilizer, so similar to a gimbal but without the actual mechanics of it. So this is like basically pre-gimbals. Never was able to actually balance the camera on this thing, and the one time that I did think that I almost got it balanced, I just tried to practice with it and I just couldn't get the hang of it. I think it was a little too cumbersome, and I just, I didn't have a camera with good autofocus, so I was using manual focus, and that's kind of a pain in the ass when you're actually using something like this. And for the type of work that I was using at the time that I got this, I thought I was going to be able to use it on weddings and quinceañeras and birthday parties and stuff like that, and I never ever used it. Practiced with it a couple times, but I never ever used it at all. Now it's just a prop. I mean, being that I still have it, I may end up pulling it out and trying to use it, but I just feel like it's not worth it. I don't even own a gimbal right now. The only thing I use is a tripod, and I'm happy with that. Nowadays, with the many options that you have in terms of stabilizers, gimbals, and even tripods and monopods, I don't see why anybody would actually buy this. But I just wanted to share with you some film gear and some things and experiences that I actually did that I regret doing. So hopefully you guys don't make the same mistake I did. Just make sure that you actually vet the sites that you're using to buy film equipment. Make sure that you're buying them from trusted sources. I know sometimes film gear can get expensive, but it's worth the money. You don't want to buy something cheap. Now, although I'm telling you not to buy cheap gear, it's okay to buy used gear. And if you need to buy used gear in the meantime, I did do a video that kind of goes over some tips and techniques when it comes to buying used gear, some things that you may want to consider before actually making a purchase. I'll link that in the description. Now, until next video, remember to consume less and create more.